giving Amari to the Browns for what essentially boils down to a fifth-round pick?
Skip, look, I believe you know what I think of Amari Cooper. I believe they did make a mistake, but here's the reason why I say, Jerry, it's a two-part question. It's really hard. If you wanted CD to be your number one receiver, you had to remove Amari because CD is not better than Amari. He doesn't transition, which means get in and out of his break. He can't beat man coverage as consistently as Amari. He's not a top 5 route runner like Amari. He doesn't have the body control of Amari. So, Skip, if I want someone to graduate, that's why they were looking to get rid of Jimmy G out of San Francisco. Why, Skip? Because right now, Trey Lance is not better than Jimmy G. But I've got to clear the deck in order for this guy to succeed. So in order for CD Lamb to morph into that number one receiver, Skip, I've got to remove Amari. Everybody knows CD is not better than Amari. You know CD is not better than Amari. Jerry knew. Jerry was upset because he overpaid for Amari because he didn't want him to go to his rival, the Washington the Commanders. Damn, I keep saying the football team sounds better. Okay, he didn't want him to go to the Commanders, and so he overpaid for Amari. So instead of paying him the value of what the receiver should get, he gave him more because I didn't want him to go there, and because Jerry said, "Well, you're not giving me that kind of value, I'm going to move on." Well, you only got a 5th and a 6th rounder for him, Skip, because you made it known that you were looking to move on from Amari Cooper. Well, if I know you're going to get rid of something, Skip, I'm not giving you max dollars for it. I already know you want to get rid of it. So Jerry took, I take a 5th and a 6th. When you know, now look what they got, Skip. You got Noah Brown. Really, Skip? Jalen Tolbert, the guy that was supposed to change the culture in Dallas. He's been active for what, one game?
Well, there was a sighting the other day against the Bears.
Against the Bears.
Oh, really? There he is. By the way, I'll take Romeo Doubs over him any day of the week, and he went in the 4th round to Jalen Tolbert's 3rd round. Go ahead.
CeeDee Lamb has 20 career drops in 40 games. Amari had 14 drops in 56 games. Less drops in 24 fewer games. We saw what Dak was before he got Amari. You were waiting for CD to do what Amari did for Dak. Have you seen that? I have not. There's no question in my mind. Come on, Skip. I mean, you talk about would you even be thinking about Odell if you had Amari? The mere fact that you're possibly, and we're going to talk about this, you could possibly be entertaining this, lets you know. Where are they ranked as far as wide receivers? You tell me that. They're at the bottom near wide receivers. They weren't there when they had Amari. They were ranked very, very high. So for me, Skip, it's a two-part question. I believe in order for you to let CD rise, you had to let Amari go into the sunset. But he's not a better receiver. You saw his arsenal on full display last night. You remember those days, Skip Bayless, when he first got when he got there in 2018. And you saw in 2019 he was dealing.
No, I only saw that down the stretch in 2018. I did not see it in 2019.
You saw it in 2019?
I did not. I'm about to. Tell me when it's my turn.
It's your turn.
Thank you. Once again, you put words in my mouth because I do not know that Amari Cooper is more valuable than CeeDee Lamb. I do not know that. I do not feel that. I do not see that. I do not anticipate that.
So you think Amari Cooper, you say, as we sit here today, you saying CeeDee Lamb is a better receiver than Amari?
I will take him any day, night, Sunday, Thursday, Monday. I'll take him over Amari Cooper. I haven't missed Amari Cooper for one split second. The only Cooper I care about now is Cooper Rush.
Whatever.
Cooper Rush, not Amari Cooper. Okay, let's start with last night. You realize that the Browns own the Bengals, and I don't know why. It's just one of those weird rivalry just dynamics where they just own them. They've beaten them 8 of the last 9 times. Baker Mayfield owned the Cincinnati Bengals when he was there. What was his big turnaround game when Odell got hurt? It was at Cincinnati, and he threw a party against Joe Burrow and company. I don't get it, but it's 8 out of 9, and it's 5 straight times. Yeah. 5 straight times. So to me, you have to start with the fact that the Bengals that I picked to repeat and win the AFC are decimated, especially on defense. Obviously, they don't have Jamar Chase, and that's another one where he's so great, he just changes the whole dynamic. It's just the whole offense. When you have him and you have to commit 2 to him every time, all of a sudden, oh, wait, T. Higgins is running free and Boyd's running free. And
they better fix that stinking offensive line.
Okay, and it's been good because you realize they were on a roll.
Yeah.
The Bengals were on a roll coming into this game, and they were starting to look like the Bengals. And the offensive line was no longer a liability until Myles Garrett happened last night and everybody around him. Okay, and every time I looked up, another DB went out of the game, including my old guy Awuzie went out of the game. And so, yes, he ran wild on them because they didn't have anybody to deal with him. And when your team is front running and when it's clear to Amari Cooper that you have the upper hand in a game, he can be lethal. I always said he might be the best route runner in football. But I don't trust his heart. I don't trust his backbone. I don't trust his guts, especially on the road. And that was at home in Cleveland last night, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so what have we seen? The Browns had lost 4 in a row. Like, who cares? Like, it was like a who cares kind of game last night. And it looked like to me, I was obviously rooting for Joe Burrow and company. They go boom, boom, boom right down the field. And then all of a sudden it looks like they're about to go in and score. And Myles Garrett gets his fingertips on a pass and it gets tipped up in the air and tipped up in the air and tipped up. And they pick it off. And from that point, I look up and it seems like 10 minutes later, it's 25-0. And I'm saying, what just happened to the Cincinnati Bengals?
Yep.
I think they're trying to figure that out. Okay, so what do we know from Amari Cooper this year on the road, or even let's just cherry pick some games? Remember the week 1 game when the Browns stole that game from Baker Mayfield at Carolina? Remember that game? Yeah. Amari, he took that game over. He caught 3 balls for 17 yards. And then their big game against Atlanta, he caught 1 ball for 9 yards. Oh, that's Amari. That's who I know. And then against New England, he caught 4 balls for 44. And at Baltimore, he caught 3 balls for 24 yards. And his catch rate is only 59%. So he's been thrown 66 balls and he's caught only 39 of them. Guess where that ranks in catch rate among only wide receivers? It's 60th on a list of 75 wide receivers. He ranks 60th in catch rate right now. And Pro Football Focus, I'm sorry, that CD's ranked 50. He's graded 15th to Amari's 28th. So right now, and they've always loved CD.
Man, all them drops when they threw CD Lamb 11, 12 balls and he caught 2.
Okay, I got you. But let's hark back after the miraculous run that Dak and Amari made once he joined the team. They had one disaster on, remember the Monday night Tennessee game. That was a bad start. And Dak tried to force a ball into the back of the end zone to Amari, who had just joined the team and maybe practiced once.
Right.
And what's the Tennessee safety?
Bayard.
Yeah, Bayard. He picked it in the back of the end zone and ended up running all the way out and doing a TO out on the logo, right, at Jerry World. Okay, so after that, they took off. And I give you, they had some huge, the home game against Philadelphia that went overtime. It was spectacular. What a dynamic duo they became. And then 2019 happened, and they had the 3 first games. Remember, this is when Dak was betting on himself against that evil Jerry Jones. Right. He's going to take him to the bank. And here we go. And your favorite all-time game, you're up in Denver you lost your voice, rooting against my Cowboys from the box up in Denver. They were all the way up against the Jets. They ended up losing 24. It was 24-22 to Sam Darnold. They lost to Sam Darnold.
He put one on him.
Yeah, he put one on him. So Amari caught 1 ball for 3 yards.
He was hurt.
And then I don't know what happened, but he came right back the next game at home, and he looked like a world beater. I don't know what happened. 1 ball for 3 yards. Then here we went to New England, and he's matched up against, at that point, the best corner in football and still one of the top corners in Stephon Gilmore. And it was a no-moss game. Amari he quit.
He was hurt.
He just flat out said, I can't. I go, give me that long coat. It's cold up here in New England. It was like November 20-something.
It was snowing. It was dreary.
The final score was New England 13-9. They won that game. But he's over there standing in a long coat saying, Coach, I just can't beat it. He's too good for me. Which brings me to the final game that year with all the chips pushed to the middle of the NFC East table at Philadelphia in the cold on, I think it was December 22nd.
Yeah.
The Eagles won the game 17-9, and it got so bad for Amari, who did wind up with 4 catches for only 24 yards. It got so bad in the fourth quarter. Jason Garrett was so upset with him. This is Jason Milquetoast Garrett. He yanked him from the football game and said, you come over here and stand by me because you are half-heartedly running your routes right now. And remember the last big possession it was Tavon Austin in the game in place of Amari Cooper.
Right.
Because Jason Garrett just didn't look like, he didn't like the body language he saw from Amari Cooper, who, for whatever reason, if you take him out of his home comfort zone and put him on the road, he's a bust, man.
Well, Skip, how about this? How about instead of trying to say CD is one, why not have it like Miami? Miami's not interested in who's one or who's two. Jalen Waddle gets his catches. Tyreek gets his catches.
Okay, the problem was Jerry caved and gave him $20 million bucks.
Yeah.
$20 million bucks.
He did.
And then last year, game after game, you're saying, well, he's not that good. He's not that good.
Right.
And Jerry loves him some CD. I do not disagree because Jerry sat there and was it his grandson? He's on his yacht. His grandson says, Granddad, you got to take.
But here, the thing is, Skip, we know how Jerry feels about the guys he drafted. There's a special kind of bond.
I got it.
Now, he's never going to love players that he traded for like he loves the players that he drafted. And sometimes he hold on to the players that he drafted a little too long. But you look at Amari and the way he can run and the things that he can do. Skip, he can, like I said, I don't know.